Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Going for Three podcast, episode 4. I am your host, Tony Farr, aka G. With me, as always, are Percy Thomas, aka PTP, and Chris Collins, aka Hot Takes. Chris, good evening, gentlemen.
How you doing, man?
Yeah. Doing good. Doing good.
Yes, sir.
Tonight is a good episode. Tonight is all college football. And we're just going to get right into it. The new college football playoff rankings came out. No shock. Georgia number 1, Alabama 2, Ohio State 3, Oregon 4, Cincinnati 5, Michigan 6.
Yes, sir.
Now, I'll just go real quick. Don't really have a problem with the top 4. I could see losses happening. As I said, I know we had a little discussion about this yesterday, but I get both sides of it. Like Michigan State is, I believe, is 7. Michigan State's loss is quote unquote worse than Michigan's loss, even though Purdue has the most wins against top 5, top 10 teams as an unranked team in college football history. So they do this. I get it's a worse loss than what Michigan has, but one of the criteria that the committee should have is head up, same record, head up. They played, Michigan State won. So I have a little issue with that, but otherwise the top 5's fine.
I have my reasons for that. Their home record is second best in the nation, so that might play a factor in it.
I think more than anything, it's probably because Michigan doesn't really have like that win yet. Michigan State's played people. I'm assuming the reason that Michigan's ranked higher is because Michigan State's loss is a quote unquote bad loss to an unranked team, whereas Michigan's isn't. That's got to be the only reason. Because if head to head had anything to do with it, then Michigan State should be ahead still. But okay, fine, whatever. It'll play itself out. I don't agree with it, but it'll play itself out. The top 5 is fine. Oklahoma could play their way in because they literally have, according to the rankings, I think they have 3 straight ranked teams to finish the season, and then possibly a 4th in the Big Ten championship. So, or Big 12, I mean. So they could play their way right into it. Oregon could lose. Ohio State could lose, which obviously, if you want Michigan in the playoff, Ohio State needs to lose. So that would probably get Cincinnati in unless they shit the bed. So that's my only gripe. But the top 5's fine as it should be.
Yeah,
I get Ohio State being above, better schedule, better wins, even though Oregon beat them. That's fine, I guess. I mean, you could make the same argument, but because Oregon's loss is worse than Ohio State's, but head to head, Oregon beat them in their house. So, but okay. Otherwise, I got no beef with the top 5. It'll play itself out.
I'm just surprised Oklahoma is still undefeated. The whole QB situation they got, even though their backup, granted, is doing what needs to be done. Pretty interesting for them.
Do you guys anticipate any significant changes? Not even just the top 5, but even moving more toward like the list as a whole. Do you see any like significant changes going forward?
As far as how the rankings work, or
like any teams like taking any major leap forwards, considering circumstances.
I have a sneaking suspicion. Well, obviously, look, if Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC championship, Georgia won't drop out of the top 4. At worst, Georgia will drop to 4. They'll still be in it. Ohio
know.
State could absolutely lose because they've played some games where teams have been in it and they shouldn't have. Oregon could absolutely lose another game.
I mean, we you kind of skip past it, but Alabama could absolutely lose to
Oh
Georgia.
yes they
Yeah,
could.
say
Yeah, they
Alabama
could.
could definitely fall out potentially.
I'm like chaos. I mean, Georgia beats Alabama, Oregon loses, Ohio State loses. Then you're probably, let's assume Oklahoma wins out. Then you got Georgia. I mean, if Oklahoma wins all those games, I'd have to think they'd be 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Cincy at 3, and then if Ohio State does lose, theoretically to Michigan doesn't lose another game, then you probably have Michigan at 4.
Yeah,
And there's your playoff, unless something weird happens.
I mean that was pretty weird up by itself.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
What if Michigan loses another game and then beats Ohio State in the Big Ten championship,
Yeah, but you can't have
and Oregon loses, then Alabama loses, then you could end up having Michigan State and
but
Oklahoma move up with
but two
Cincinnati and have it
losses
that.
is but 2 losses is just I don't know.
Two
I
losses
just
is like
don't
an
think
automatic knockdown for most teams.
Yeah.
I don't think this year 2 losses is going to do it. It's not going to do it.
Would it have to be decided by strength of schedule? For like at least for like maybe 4, like sort of like who had the stronger wins throughout the year.
Okay, well theoretically, let's pose this: Georgia beats Alabama. Ohio State loses to you guys, but you guys lose another game.
Yeah.
Before that, and then Oregon loses. Oklahoma, assuming they win out, Oklahoma's and Cincinnati, assuming they win out, they're 2 of the other 3, and then that 4th spot. I would think given their positioning right now, at 7, Michigan State probably moves into that 4 spot if they don't lose.
Yeah.
I would just have to assume that's how they do it. I don't see anybody else leapfrogging that. And I mean, putting like a 2-loss Alabama in would just be a fucking joke because they wouldn't deserve to be in.
Yeah. Granted, Michigan State does have the potential with the rest of their schedule to kind of finish somewhat strong. I mean, Maryland on Saturday, they got Ohio State at some point, and then they finish with Penn State. So chances are they could finish with a pretty decent record. Not sure if it moves them up too far, but they're gonna be in that home stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on, I guess. Quick thought on the Heisman. I got 2 names.
Let's hear him.
Kenneth Walker III. And Bryce Young. More likely it's Walker's to lose, I think, at this point.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like if Alabama wins out, they beat Georgia, and Bryce continues to play.
It's possible. It's possible.
It's hard for me to think that they would take it away from him. Although Kenneth's been balling.
Yeah.
I mean, even in the loss he had.
Yeah.
What I think he had 150 and 2 scores. I mean, so it's not like they lost and he was.
Who was the last running back to win the Heisman? Derrick Henry.
Was Derrick? It might be. I
mean, college. I feel like they definitely have more of a shot because Devontae won it last year. So I mean, they're definitely more open to giving non-quarterback players that award.
Yeah, it was Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I
mean, Walker's gone stupid, so he definitely can.
No, he's been going crazy.
Also, I'd probably just say like.
I was just gonna say it would help him. It would help them to win out too.
Yeah, but I mean, I did mention Young, so I mean,
yeah,
I think it's Walker's to lose right now, but
Yeah, I'd probably say Walker for sure though. Walker just having for that team to kind of like although they've always competed for them to kind of take like this type of jump with him at the forefront for the offensive side of the ball. That's something they kind of would have to acknowledge that. Granted, they do have to probably make it into the playoffs, make some stuff shake, but definitely his to lose.
Yeah.
Or Matt Corral,
Well,
Boy, Ole Miss going stupid. No cap.
hey, pick it too.
Yeah.
Was lighting people up. I mean, he did throw, a bunch of picks against my boys, but hey, he still had some. I think he still threw for like 500 with those 3 picks in the loss.
Yeah.
But
it's like great how the quarterbacks kind of not took like a back burner as far as like how the season's progressed, but it's like there's a lot, like even with draft placement, like there's quarterbacks could be in the top 10 obviously because teams draft by fit, but as far as who's really like showing like their work right now, it's like linemen, defenders, and running backs for the most
we're
part.
going. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are doing work. I mean, is there a surefire? No.
Yeah.
Will one probably be drafted in the top 10? Probably. Is there a
Maybe,
surefire?
maybe.
I think so. I think there's always somebody desperate for a quarterback that will either draft or move up to get one.
I don't even know, man.
Especially if nobody else does. I can see it. And you know how
Yeah.
NFL teams work.
I feel like bottom 15 might be the sweet spot.
I don't know about the
Near
top
30.
10.
The top 10 will probably be like 10. Somebody will really have to like show like some real moxie over the next few weeks, few months, pretty much leading up to that to really like take a leap. But
I mean, just because like if it's not the Washington football team or the Texans, then it ain't happening.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends. Carolina.
I mean, like,
I wouldn't rule the Saints out. I wouldn't rule the Lions out.
Yeah, I've seen a mock draft with
I
somebody
wouldn't
saying
rule
the
the
Lions taking both of them.
I wouldn't rule the Dolphins out if they can't make a trade. I wouldn't rule Denver out if they can't make a trade.
I just don't think that none of, like you said, like none of these guys are like surefire. So
No,
I mean,
no. But someone could get desperate if they think somebody else is going to take a go quarterback. If there's rumbling, somebody's going to. Because that's how the NFL works. Smoke screens sometimes work. If somebody gets sniffed that, oh, well, this guy's going to be here for us probably. We could take him later in the first round, even or early second. But you get sniffs that, oh shit, somebody's going to go quarterback. Then somebody can make that dumb move up and get the guy because they're scared they're not going to get him.
But don't
even though it's not the right decision.
But don't you think in the like when that happens in the past, it's for more, at least like guys that are perceived to be higher ceiling or more surefire guys. Like I mean, like yes, like the season isn't over yet, and I'm sure once we get to the process, like the pre-draft and all that, a lot of these quarterbacks are going to get elevated. But right now,
no. Do I mean, right this moment, I could see like 2 in the first round.
Exactly. Top 10 is.
I'm not. Yeah, just in general, I could see like 2 in the first round.
Yeah.
Coral and probably Ritter. If I had to pick, probably Coral and Ritter.
Pickett's last to 2, or he can't go in this year.
I think he can. I just think Coral seems to get more spotlight, and Ritter's just a solid quarterback, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Yeah. Getting a lot of comparisons to he's been getting a lot of comparisons to Josh Allen, except for obviously his decision making in college is better. So he's obviously he's a winner. So
yeah,
Pickett's got stupid pocket presence and just can throw the ball anywhere. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but so
But
he kind of, from what I've seen, I don't know, like he kind of got some Herbert in him, low key, like just from like a canon aspect, probably. It's a little hard to gauge, but
yeah. I mean, he could play his way in, but that would be. I mean, you're asking me now. Coral and Ritter probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So
you want to get to let's get to it.
so
Let's get to it.
yeah, let's get to the meat of the show here. Draft prospects. Now, just to let the audience know, we are not doing a mock draft tonight for this week's episode. It is not a mock draft. We are just going to give you, in our opinion, our top 10 draft prospects, period. Now, you all can do in any order you wish. I'm going in order, basically, of how I think they should be.
Okay.
You can do it any way you want.
From 1 to 10 or from 10 to 1?
1 to 10. I'll just do 1 to 10.
Okay. We're gonna give like a quick reason on why.
Yeah. I'll give a little bit. Yeah. I'll give a little bit of something.
Okay.
Right off the top, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yep.
He's a monster. He needs to put on a little weight because I think his bull rush ability is a little questionable, but he's quick, he's agile. He just his movement smooth, his technique is really almost flawless. So I could see him as like a speedy rush end. I don't know about the getting inside like bull rushing. I don't see that. I mean, if you can put on a little weight, I think that's probably his weak spot. But yeah, he's a monster. Next up, brace yourself, PTP. Aiden Hutchinson.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Edge rusher.
Edge rusher from Michigan. See, no hate. He's just all around phenomenal player. He can work inside, outside. He's quick enough. He's not like Thibodeau agile, but he's agile enough, strong enough. He's just and he's big, 6'6", like he's like 6'6", like 265, 270. He's just a disruptor. He's high motor. I think he's plug and play day one NFL guy. Don't get hard on PTP because I'm talking to your boy, but just all right. But I'm being real. I'm being realistic.
That's JJ Watt Jr. right there.
That was your 2.
I guess it's a fair comp, but not quite. It's a fair comp. There's some of it there.
Yeah. That was 2 though, Chris.
Number 3, Evan Neal, tackle from Alabama.
Okay. I got him a little lower.
Yeah.
He's the best offensive.
Yeah, he's the best offensive lineman in this draft. Strong, good technique, not a lot of penalties. He could play either tackle spot. Probably could play some guard. He kicks out well. I mean, he's just exactly what you're looking for. You're an NFL team. You need an offensive lineman. He's perfect. Day one, probably wouldn't take much for him to learn anybody's system. I don't know if he might need a little bit of polish in like a zone block type of scheme, but I think he's ready to go right out the gate. I mean, he's just and Alabama just spits these guys out. So I mean, but next up, Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah.
What a Dame.
That's what I'm talking about.
My God, what I mean, he can play anywhere.
He's a freak.
He's rangy. Yeah, he's rangy. He's absolutely a freak. He recognizes routes really well. Super intelligent. He could play single high, double. I mean, he could play in the box, rush, tackle, slot. Just do it all. I could probably argue he could probably play a little corner, but I mean, he's just Yeah, he's just woof. Next up, George Karlaftis.
Oh,
Edge rusher from Purdue.
Hmm.
He's just solid player. I mean, beats blockers. He's a monster. He's strong as hell. He he beats double teams. He is just he's that inside guy. Like, I think I look at Thibodeau and Hutchinson as like rush disruptors, like just blow past a tackle and just destroy a running back in the backfield or get to the quarterback, disrupt the play, knock down passes, whatever it is. Karlaftis is just that like bull rush. He's a bull. He's gonna. I can see him blowing up the middle of the line of scrimmage with his strength, and yeah, definite for me. That's what I see. You can disagree if you wish. Next up, and I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure. Next up, Trent McDuffie.
Wow.
Corner from Washington.
Okay.
He's physical. He's fast enough. He's a ball hawk. He knows where the ball goes. He can play in the run game. He can play zone. You can run him at nickel. He's good. He's good man-to-man coverage. You could put him at safety. Tackles well. Just everything you could ask for.
Nah, I gotta ask, why he over the others?
Well,
Where's
the first?
I think he's. And
Booth too.
Yeah.
I just think he's more polished and more versatile overall.
Okay.
Again, this is my list, so you know.
Oh no! Nothing but respect. I just want to know the reason.
Okay,
interesting. These names, interesting.
Okay, next up, this is and this is on this is. I don't think this is on anybody's top 10 list, but Chris Olave.
The receiver?
Yes. Receiver from Ohio State. I mean, playmaker. He doesn't have elite speed, but he's fast enough. Catches everything. Phenomenal hands. I mean, really polished. Really, really polished. Phenomenal route runner. I see him, and I hate to say it, I see him as I think he's a slightly faster Terry McLaurin. I think he comes right in and gives you inside outside, just, or maybe I don't know. I could kind of see a little Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know exactly what his speed is because I think he's a little faster than he seems, but then again, I don't think he's gonna like hit you with like a 4.3 40.
Right.
I don't necessarily think he's that, but he's deceptively fast. And he's just, he's a phenomenal route runner, playmaker, catches the ball, and he's just, So, in some ways, going to be looking. So, I think he's the best of the bunch. Okay, next up, Derek Stingley.
Okay.
Corner from LSU. Love his instincts. He has great closing speed. Definitely physical. I think he's more of a man corner. I think he's going to struggle a bit in zone. Just my opinion. And obviously the injury thing could be a problem. Don't love his size for a corner, but attribute wise, he's got everything you want. I just think take the injury out because I think that'll probably won't be a problem in the pros. But I think the fact that he struggles a bit in zone coverage and he's not that big, because I think he's like 6'1", so he's not real tall.
I mean, but 6'1" for a corner is, I feel that's pretty
They still have to get the job done for
Yeah, it's
most
definitely
teams.
Yeah. He's still a top.
that's pretty solid height for me.
He's still a
honestly.
top 10 player to me. I just think,
Yeah.
you know,
Plus his wrap up ability will make up for it because most guys probably, as long as you can wrap up with that type of height on you, like pretty much fit in.
right. But just there's still that in the injury, and like I said, I think he could be exposed a bit in zone coverage. He's going to have to definitely learn that. He's more of a man guy, but if he gets picked by a team that plays more zone, he could struggle. But still a top 10 player to me. Ninth, Andrew Booth.
Okay.
I did again. I really don't. I mean, all around good player. Yeah, he's big. He's quick. He's got good makeup speed. He definitely great hands. I mean, solid all around player. I don't think he's just. I think my thing with him is I think he's a really good player. I think he'd be a really good corner in the pros. I just don't think there's something about him that puts him like head and shoulders above everybody else in any department. Just in my opinion, he's got it all. He's got everything you want in a corner, but he doesn't. I don't. From
Who do
my
you
eye
think
test,
is better
I don't think he does
man
anything
coverage?
between
Him and Derek.
healthy Derek, probably Derek by a little bit. Yeah. I mean, all around great. I just don't think he's like in comparison to the other two. I don't think he is. I think you can say he's like, a measurable degree better at one thing than the others. All around, yes. But if you talk about certain measurables, I don't think he's like necessarily got like a major leap on either of the other two in any of those departments. But all around, great. And last, Kenyon Green.
Yeah.
Texas tackle, Texas A&M.
There we go.
Yeah. Now I would have to say I think his perfect fit is a team that's a zone blocker team.
Mm-hmm.
I think otherwise he'll have to learn a little bit, but he can. He's just nasty. I mean, he's just nasty. Honestly, I mean, can play either tackle position, but I can see him slotting in depending on who picks him. I mean, he could on day one plug and play guard easily. Easily. Just, but again, I think put him on a zone blocking team, he's a monster and he can play. I could probably go out on limits to probably say he could play off high position on the line. Just a versatile lineman. And so there's my 10.
Not mad at it. Couple of names on there that I'll just say I don't have. But,
respectfully.
Really?
Yeah, what's his name? The second rusher you had? I forget his name.
Aiden Hutchinson?
No. You said somebody else.
Who's
your fourth?
Oh, you're talking about
from Purdue.
Karlaftis from Purdue?
Yeah, I didn't have him.
Yeah.
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 But respectfully. And then I didn't have Olave either. I don't have Olave as my top receiver in
really?
So,
Is it the other Ohio State receiver you have?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of been going back between him and Burks, but I'm not really in love with either of them. I like Burks's big body, stretching the field capabilities, and kind of reminds me of kind of like a DK a bit, but I'm not really in love with his route running per se. I don't know if he's limited in his route running, but I haven't seen a lot of it. And whereas the other one, he's got great route running, but I've seen him, drop balls. He's kind of small. So I'm not in love with either of them.
Well, you want to go next, Chris, then?
Yeah, well, we can go ahead. We can go ahead and do it. All right. All right, let me get my stuff together. All right, I'm gonna start real quick. So, all right, off rip, number one, I feel like it really should be the same for everybody unless you're just trolling. But it's Kayvon.
Yeah.
Thibodeau is how you pronounce it. Yes.
Yep.
I assume that's everything I hear. It could be Thibodeau, but everybody says
Well, it could be
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau.
So
It could be
yeah.
Thibodeau. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's just a monster, man. He's been a great prospect. He should come in and be a monster. I mean, I ain't got much more to say to build on what you off of what you said about him. So I'll keep it moving. My number two, I feel like it might be a surprise. DeMarvin Leo.
Really?
Yes. So I know
tell the audience who he is. So many people might not know who he is.
DeMarvin Leo, 6'4", 290. See, Texas A&M. The main reason, one of the big reasons that I had him at where I had him is I know you had Evan pretty high up there, and he basically gave the best offensive lineman in this entire draft like really hard fits. And I kind of place a lot of importance on performing against the best.
It's fair.
True.
It's fair.
Yeah, and I love his size. I like the motor that he has, and I seen it on film.
Okay.
That's all I need. That's all I need. Third, I have Derek Stingley at third. I have him basically as it pertains as a corner prospect. I think he's pretty close to perfect as far as this class can get, besides the injuries. Now, you said you weren't too worried about it. I kind of have some concern because he's not the only injury he's had. He's had a couple.
I think I mean, it is a concern. I just think, but I think by the time he's in the game, I don't think it's going to be a problem long term, but it is something to look out for
Right.
sure.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as like on the field, his talent on the field, I have no issues with him. So that's why.
And as I said, I am a little concerned about him in zone coverage.
Yeah,
he's not phenomenal there. He's not phenomenal there.
He's not, but I wouldn't say that I have this necessarily the same concerns moving forward.
But it could also depend on where he gets drafted to. So he might not. It might not be a responsibility. So that's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, Derek Stingley at 3. At 4, I have Kyle Hamilton. Basically for a lot of the same reasons that you got it. 6'4", 219. He's fluid. He's versatile. He's a freakish athlete. He can come out, play in the box, come down, he's a great tackler. I think he's got solid covering skills to cover tight ends. I am worried about, the potential of him actually being able to cover like smaller players, maybe like the nickel. I don't know if he projects to be like that type of safety as we've seen others be in the past, but what he does well, he does well. And I think his versatility is going to be the asset going forward for wherever he gets drafted. So, and like you say, he's got great instincts. He really does. You can tell like he pays attention to the game, watches film, like that type of shit.
He's a student.
It doesn't just come from just going out there and just doing whatever. He cares about it, and there's attention to detail within it. So,
okay,
for sure. And then number 5, I got Jordan Davis from Georgia. Now the stats aren't going to leap off the table. Obviously, he's an interior lineman, but I mean, he is what's the word? Immovable. It's like he's caught between a rock and a hard place.
Just a block.
I mean, he doesn't get moved. He's one of if not the driving force for that defense, and they are number 1 in the nation right now as far as the ranking. So I feel like he's a big reason for that. I can see like some kind of just really disruptive interior lineman, kind of like, what's his name? What's his name on the Buccaneers? What's his name? Yeah, Vita is his first name.
Yeah.
I can see kind of like some comparisons there. I feel like it's very similar, just as far as him not being able to just be not moved off, and he's a lot of times he's able to take up two blockers, offering up other opportunities for everybody else on the line. So, like I said, it's not always about like, stuff in the stat sheet, but it's the impact that he has, man. Like, that's game-winning impact. And I know we said that this isn't our like mock draft. He won't get drafted this high, but I think his impact warrants that he gets talked about as far as this level.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
And then after him, I have Hutchinson, Aiden Hutchinson. Like you said, good size. He has the highest rushing win rate. Like he's just taking his game to another level this year. He just wins off the.
You guys are PTP up right now. I'm telling you, no cap.
Yes, sir.
I mean, listen, man. I ain't never had nothing against you boys, man. I ain't never had nothing against Michigan. So I have no.
You better have something against their basketball team next weekend. That's all I'm gonna say.
Listen. I have no problem. I call it how I see it. If I see the talent, I see it. I see
it. Get up, Hunter and my boys, Gramps. We finna go crazy.
No, you ain't whipping our ass next week. No. UNLV is beating you.
Double from Dickinson.
All right.
And then after Hutchinson, I have Evan Neal. So best lineman, I think most people think in the draft. But obviously, if I have DeMarvin that high for him, just giving him fits and giving him a hard time, I gotta kind of apply that to his ranking as well for him just kind of having that hard of a time. I don't think that he has like great athleticism or great like agility for his size. I think he's solid. I think that can kind of probably give him some issues in the league. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. But I mean, he's solid. Like you say, he'll be ready to play from day one, and he'll get drafted early. He'll probably get drafted to like the Jaguars. Plug and play him quick early. Short that line for Lawrence real quick, but he's a good player. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't wow me, but he's the type of solid day one starter, that is very valuable to teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's spoken pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then directly under him, I have Kenyon Green.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, he's nasty. I couldn't justify putting him over Neal. I wanted to, but I couldn't. But I wanted to keep him kind of close in the same range, just to show you. Like I don't think it's too far of like a difference.
No, it's the like I said, I think Green fits best in a zone blocking scheme.
Right.
So to that extent, I guess you could say he's limited.
Mm-hmm.
I that's not a knock because he's a great player, but that's his best fit. So I think he'd have more of a slightly bigger learning curve in the pros than Neal would. But otherwise, I mean, it's the margin between the two is not very big. I would absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like where he goes fit, and then. But Neal's pretty much any team could draft Neal and probably plug him in.
No, facts.
Mm.
And then after, what number am I? 1, 2, 3. I'm at 9. So at 9, I have Drake Jackson from USC.
Really?
I do.
I looked at him.
I feel like he's getting punished for USC.
I mean, that's
I don't
okay.
know how else to say it. I feel like he's getting punished by playing on USC, but he's been dominating his matchup. He's been winning his matchup. I think he is, as far as like athletically, he's an exciting athlete. I think he's versatile. I think he has a great motor. I think that versatility is really gonna be an eye-opening factor for people if they can look past, his team's record, which they will come draft time. I think he's gonna be a riser again. I feel like he kind of stagnated while others started to rise up, like the other pass rushers of this league or of the draft, I guess. But come draft time, he's gonna rise back up. Because when the season's over, no one's gonna care that USC. What are they, like 5-4 now? 4-5, something like that.
Yeah.
No one's gonna care about that when they're just looking at his tape. And what you see on his tape is that he wins his matchups, and he wins them athletically. And he has a solid motor. I mean, you pair the motor with the athleticism. I mean, it's a pretty great combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My 10, and then I'll move on to my 10. My 10, I struggled with for a while. I thought about putting my receiver there, one of those guys. I didn't feel good about it. I thought about putting the lineman from Iowa, Tyler, in there. Wasn't in love with that one. I ended up putting Elam. I don't even know how to pronounce his first name. Kyer, the cornerback.
It's Kyer, yeah.
Yeah, Kyer Elam. I ended up putting him at 10 just because I think athletically wise, he's a great athlete. And he has a lot of potential just as far as like what he can be in the league, I think. As far as like cover skills, I think that it's not the best. Not the best. It could be refined a little bit, but man, he's got that athleticism that's just going to be able to make up for a lot of things. That's what I think. But like I said, not too in love with that last spot. But I couldn't really
already some differences in the list here. I like it.
Yeah,
we're not chalking. We're not chalking. I like it.
I couldn't force myself to put an offensive player or offensive skill guy in my top 10. So no running backs, obviously, no receivers, no quarterbacks. So yeah.
All right, brother. Young man, let's see. Yeah, okay.
All right, but just to clarify off rip, I didn't really rank them. I kind of just went with like names and kind of just ran them down as a top 10 list. So
all right, fair enough.
Because on my list, like Thibodeau's like 5, but obviously Thibodeau's he's a top 5 prospect, but he's not 5. So
okay.
Number 1, I'm gonna go with. Might sound a little bit homerish, but I'm gonna get into it a little bit more.
Hey, not yet.
No, not yet. David Ojabo. Ojabo, linebacker, 6'5", 250. Yes, been having a career year alongside with Hutchinson. That
I was gonna say name the school for our college football geeks out there who don't know who everybody is.
Okay, he goes to Michigan, by the way, David Ojabo. Having one of his better years, just seems like an absolute force in the paint. I said in the paint, like it's basketball.
Is he an upperclassman? Is he eligible?
He's a junior.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He knocks the ball out of people's hands, some stuff rolling. He's just like scheme fit might be like a deciding factor for him, depending on like if people like to rush their linebackers, because I don't think he really doesn't play in the passing lanes that much. Like not really many interceptions that I can see. But for his height and his size, I feel like people can definitely see him as like has the potential to be something bigger. Number 2, I have Aiden Hutchinson, Michigan edge rusher. Like both of these guys said, monster, grits for the game. It just changes your whole game plan potentially. Just one of those guys. Number 3, switch up right here. Kenneth Walker III, running back, Michigan State. Obviously, Heisman hunt type of guy. Runs hard. runs hard, gets some yardage. Probably might need to mix in a little bit more pass catching at the next level. He can do it, but might want to mix a little bit more of it, even though he is in that not comparable to talent, more or less, but in that Derrick Henry range where he runs like 20 plus times a game. So if he makes it,
just because you picked him,
Hmm.
and we know running backs don't go early, but whatever, that's fine. But because you picked him,
Hmm.
who would you comp him to?
the height of like 5'10". Like, I don't know. I don't want to OD, but I want to say Clinton Portis. I don't know why, but like,
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like his height or anything. Just like the way he plays, the way he runs and whatnot. Like,
that's more,
what does it remind you of?
I feel like that's more or less like what I'm thinking of, more or less. Just because
I don't hate.
he finds that end zone, like he sniffs it out. 5 touchdowns at some point on the ground, more or less. So he gonna find that end zone. He gonna find that pay dirt.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that comp. Go ahead.
Yeah. Number 4. This is the last Michigan player I have, or Michigan State player. I had 4.
Mercy. Okay. Wow.
So the next I have Xavier Henderson, safety, Michigan State. 6'1", pretty decent height for it. Just seems like a flyer. Like a lot of tackles. Got a couple of situations where, like, gets the pass deflections, get his hands up. Probably might not be obviously compared to like Kyle Hamilton, one of the like safeties to look for, but if anything, like he'll probably be like the number 3, number 2, depending on if there's any other safeties that really like jump off the grid. But I don't know, whatever team gets him, they probably are going to get like one of the more disciplined safeties. I feel like along with Hamilton, like one of the more disciplined safeties. Number 5, come on, Thibodeau. Obviously, you guys said it. Jumps off the scale. Everything. 6, Kyle Hamilton. Well, these guys I can't really give any information for. I slid Olave in at number 7 mainly because I kind of wanted to put a wide receiver on here. Just does a lot of things that a lot of teams need: speed, hands, has a lot of things going on for him. Number 8, another switch up. Malik Willis. And he is.
Ooh, me likey.
He is one of the 2 quarterbacks I decided to slide in here just because, more or less, I wanted to well-rounded. From Liberty? Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
yes.
From Liberty.
Yes.
Beanie had some draft comps to Steve McNair because of
like I don't think so.
He is. Might not be there yet because his accuracy is in question. Has the power though. Accuracy is definitely in question.
He's got a deceptively strong arm.
Yeah. So once again, scheme fit all into consideration.
Definitely more mobile than McNair too.
Yeah, really got some nice wiggle on him.
Yep.
Yeah, scheme fit definitely will come into effect for him as far as like what team you kind of want to build around that, just because of like his running ability, and as long as he develops as a passer, he'll definitely have some longevity in the league. Number 9, I have Derek Stingley Jr. 2019, even though like he had the injury, so like just going back to 2019, 6 interceptions, really showed off his tackling ability. Potential like if the injuries don't hold him back too much to be one of the better corners probably from this draft class.
Right.
Really nice upside on him. And lastly, number 10, Matt Corral.
Okay.
Matt Corral from Ole Miss. Guy seems like a fun quarterback. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He runs.
Yeah.
He runs. He's scoring. He gets yardage after it. He's throwing the ball. He's getting touchdowns. It's just all around. Really, outside of like probably like maybe like of course the average like growing pains of being a quarterback. I really don't see him as having any weaknesses. And most quarterbacks, obviously, like, you got like Pickett probably, and probably another one that I'm probably forgetting. But as far as like a quarterback that you can grow with, same with Malik Willis. Like if you build around it and really like put your all into like what his talents are as a runner and as a passer, once again, definitely could be a longevity player for any NFL team.
Yeah, I think he makes a lot of quick reads, so I wonder, he could turn the ball over. I do wonder about his like true pocket presence, because he does have a lot of quick reads, but I mean, fair.
Yeah.
He could very well be the number one quarterback, so I certainly can't argue that. I could turn the ball over. But who can't? I do
That's
wonder about
one.
a lot of quick reads and stuff though with that offense. So I do wonder about his pocket presence, and I do wonder like if he's that type of quarterback where, sort of like how Trevor's kind of having the growing pains. Like if you put him on a team with nothing,
Yeah.
is he gonna do what he's doing, or is he gonna elevate the talent around him?
Yeah.
And do his thing. But yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, plus from like as far as like just like the competitive aspect, not to say anything is like akin to like Joe Burrow, but I feel like with most quarterbacks, if you come in kind of with like that dog mentality, that competitive energy, team eventually slowly is gonna develop around you and really like feed into that. So he goes to a team that really doesn't have much going for them. I mean, he probably could be that driving force, that spark from the quarterback position that really is like, well, this team can do this. We really got some stuff going on here. So
All
about
right,
team scheme fit.
all right. Since you picked quarterbacks,
Yeah,
and we didn't. Since you have them on your list,
go for it.
who picks them?
Well,
since you picked two quarterbacks, we didn't. Who do you think?
Okay, trying to think here. Okay, so one from Link Willis, I'd probably say Dolphins seems like an intriguing situation if they do move on from Tua because of like all the injury issues that he's had and all that.
And don't trade for Deshaun.
Yeah, if they don't move anything for a quarterback, he seems like a nice fit for them. He might be interesting with Waddle if they probably can get another wide receiver to pair off with it. And Coral, probably the Panthers, honestly, if they want to move on from Darnold. Again,
want to.
if they want, I mean, they probably will. Yeah.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But he just has a lot of stuff that Darnold doesn't. Like like I guess like you can say like certain poise, like the willingness to like shake off. I feel like if he makes a bad play, he shakes it off, comes right back out. Darnold kind of he beats himself up if he throws a pick or takes a sack. Like
he gets in his own head.
Yeah, they need a leader. In a weird way, like kind of like how Jake Delhomme was for them back in the day. Like Jake Delhomme was not the best quarterback, but he was confident. Like he was coming out there next play, trying to make something shake. So they just need something like that.
All right, that's fair. Wow, that was. I thought there would be, honestly. I thought the vast majority of our list would be fairly similar, but I am
pretty
pleasantly surprised by the differences in these lists. Like, there's not a lot of commonality here.
No, but all that being said, I just want to start off by saying my list is better.
All right. All right.
From a well-rounded standpoint, I feel like I've done my job.
I beg to differ. I think I did the most Mel Kiperish job as far as the list goes. I think.
Mel Kiper wrong plenty of times.
Hey, I might do a little Todd McShay. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay,
well, here's an idea then. We could do it on our Twitter. We could do it with the podcast. Let's put up a poll and let the viewers decide who has the best list.
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? What's up? Let's decide. Let's let them decide if they know their stuff. Who has the best prospect list? What's up?
It's probably gonna be me, honestly. But
all right.
No.
All this Michigan
anyway.
Yeah, unless
all these damn Michigan players. What the hell going
on? Yeah, are we going to get a bunch of all of a sudden our viewership numbers are going to skyrocket in the state of Michigan? And
you see, this is the thing, Gramps. I'm marketing to a demographic here, and we're gonna blow. I'm letting you know that right now.
All right, I'm trying to get to the smart fan. I came with the facts and the info.
I ain't gonna lie.
Justin.
I ain't gonna lie. Basketball. That's why I'm gonna get to the nitty gritty. If we do a top 10 for basketball, I'm cooking.
We'll get to that. We're going to get to that at some point. Don't worry about it, everybody. We'll get to that at some point. And just for everybody who knows, clearly PTP is a Michigan fan.
Yep.
If you didn't notice.
if you didn't know before.
Hey, what the Texas school that Chris had? He had 2 players from that school, I think.
What, Texas A&M?
A&M, yeah.
He had 2 players from Texas A&M.
I'm not from Texas. Hey, I just listen, man. Hey, man, listen. I just thought that it was important that I show the big boys some love, because a lot of times no one shows the big boys any love.
Got a point there.
They make this game called football go.
Well, I was just saying, since PTP is an obvious Michigan fan, you couldn't have figured it out already, that college basketball season has started. We will get to that in a future episode. I promise.
Yeah,
but Michigan did have their first game tonight, and they won. So, congrats!
Clapping, dudes.
You beat the mighty Buffalo University.
Everybody gets one.
Hey, Gonzaga had one of the worst matchups for their first game.
Look, UNLV had their first game tonight. We beat Gardner Webb, so I got nothing to say. A win's a win. I don't give a shit. A win's a win, bro. Win's a win.
Exactly. W's a W.
Yeah, win's a win. We're just getting ready to give you all the business next weekend. That's all I'm saying.
Oh shit.
And if my little brother listens to this, because my youngest brother's a Michigan fan too. Yeah, UNLV's coming for you next.
And then Dickinson poised top 10.
I'll take UNLV in the points, because I'm sure it'll be some disgusting line. I bet you I'll be favored by like 20 or some shit. I will take UNLV in the points. Because it's in Vegas. It's not in our house, but it's in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's not the Thomas de Mack. It's at the over the hell that. What's that? Whatever. What's that? Do you know anybody know what that arena is in Vegas? Where the new one, the new arena, where the Golden Knights play. Anybody know the name of it? That's where the game is. Just for. I don't remember the name of the place, but
the T-Mobile Arena.
I think so. Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where the game. That's where the game is. Yes, it's not. It's technically a home game, but it's not in our house. It's not the Thomas and Mack. But we're coming for you. We're coming.
We'll see.
Running Rebels, boy. All right, boys. I think we can wrap it up here. Anybody have any thing else they want to add before we?
Well, of course, I gotta keep it consistent. You know what I mean. So every episode, I'm starting this tradition. I've done it since the first one, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So with that being said, Lakers in 2. And I just want it to be known. I want it to be known that we.
Is this because the Lakers won't beat the Heat tonight? Now y'all getting your confidence up.
I've been confident. I've always said, just give it time. I mean, he's still listen. Russ still turned the ball over like he's an apple turnover. I don't even know. He still had 8 of them things, but we still won.
He turning that ball over like a chicken rotating in the oven, man.
No, for real. Like the shit is crazy, but we still got a dub. He played. Besides the turnovers, he didn't play terrible. He shot pretty decently. Davis and Anthony Davis did his thing. Malik Monk, who I've been saying needs minutes, had a good game tonight.
Well, if you're gonna pull that little thing out, so to say, Celtics getting hot. So
yeah.
No Jaylen Brown on the shelf, but Jason Tatum coming into form, leading the team.
You guys got a dub today.
Had a nice tidy 22-12-7 tonight.
Yeah. Out of the playoffs right now, but that's okay.
Man, all I'm gonna say is he couldn't have rookie of the year. He's dropping buckets. Green Loki tried to get snippy, and guess what? He stayed in the H-Town with an L. So
Cade shrugged him off. He didn't get it in his head. I'll give him that.
But he's in like I said with Green. It's for the cameras. It's for the cameras.
I mean, it is what it is, man. Still got Mobley, the way he's playing right now. But Cade played well.
And
Or at least so I saw.
Cade top 2 and he not 2. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh my!
Is he 1.5? Is he?
They tied for 1 right now. They tied for 1.
I don't know, man.
Damn,
I can't go
y'all just forgetting Chris Duarte, huh? All right, that's cool.
The Pacers are in a weird spot, honestly.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
He's getting buckets, but the team's not consistent.
They just need a superstar. Like on the realism keys. And apparently we'll never know if that's Karis LeVert or not because he can't stay on the court.
Yeah.
Why can't Sabonis be that?
We'd have to really build offense around him to be
that. But if he's going to be that, then they need a dominant back.
Well, the problem is they can't play double big because Sabonis and Turner don't play well together. Each of them play better when the other one's on the bench.
And it's crazy because it should work.
Yeah.
It should work.
I mean, yeah, but with the way Sabonis' game is starting to round out as far as like pick and pop, pick and roll, rebounding type of guy, Turner literally is mostly that, but he shoots the 3 a little bit better at this point. It's hard for them to get their spacing down if they both do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
To this current point.
We could get to that.
Okay. Next week we got you. We got you.
Yeah, we got you next week. Yeah, so we'll get that poll up. Y'all vote.
For me.
Who has the best prospect list, and why is it me? But
all right.
Respectfully, fuck you guys. I won. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
I had to, man. I had to. All right, so that's the show for tonight. Let's get our plugs out. On Twitter, follow us at Going for 3 Pod. You can follow me at Tony the Real on Twitter, gentlemen.
PTB.
At PTP_99 on Twitter.
And at Chris D. Collins on Twitter and Instagram.
Vote in our poll, please. Make sure you hit that follow button and give us a listen. We thank you all for listening once again. Stay blessed, and we will see you all next week.
Bye.